I was excited to shoot at Tempelhof, honestly. As I rolled up to the set, I kept taking pictures of it to send to my father, who used to fly into Tempelhof when he was stationed in Frankfurt. So it was interesting to be in a place that was so historical and to be shooting something. And then I was in Berlin probably about a week and wandered around the Mitte and shopped and bought a pair of Birkenstocks, and which I bought another pair yesterday. So, I love Berlin. I went to high school in Frankfurt, and it was a different Germany then, obviously. It was before the wall came down. So to see the city, which is the center of so much interesting culture and is so alive, has been really, really fun for me.
And I think, too, what's really great about it is it takes, like he's saying, something that, historically, you look anytime there's been a group of people that have been oppressed by a government or a regime, eventually they band together and rise up, and there's a revolution led by a Mockingjay type figure oftentimes. And it's cool to have a movie like this that's accessible to younger audiences as well, because it's an important thing to talk about. And it's, if you don't learn from your history, then you end up repeating it, and hopefully we stop doing that. And through things like this, they get young people thinking and talking and more aware of these kind of issues, I think is something meaningful and also entertaining and fun. So it works out in a lot of ways.
For all of us, there's a certain kind of melancholy in seeing him on screen again, after we lost him. Phil was an extraordinary actor, and I think everyone felt that way. I'd worked with him quite a few times, and it was always an honor to be with him, and it was a huge, huge loss. That was one of the things that was so fascinating for me about playing Coin, is that, and Frances and I designed it so that she would start as a revolutionary, as a freedom fighter, and she's someone who's gradually corrupted by power and by her desire for revenge, and who eventually becomes a tyrant or a despot.
Working here in Berlin, the crew was fantastic. Great technicians and craftspeople, and great background, and fantastic locations. Obviously, it's why we came here. So it was a fantastic experience.
We spent 3 weeks in these sewers, and for someone like myself, who's quite a bit taller than the rest of the cast, I spent 3 weeks like this. This is fun, and we're having a good time. And also, you're wearing a combat outfit that's not made to be in water. So it would literally fill with water, and you're treading around in knee-deep water and doing these fight scenes with the mutts attacking us, and it was a strenuous few weeks. I think
we'd all stand there with towels wrapped around us between takes, standing in front of heaters, trying not to complain.
We'd go back to the heating tent. Everyone would just sort of sit there staring at the floor, and no one really knew what to say, because it's just like, God, 3 more weeks of this.
I remember we were all sitting there in the tent one time, and we're all just zoning out, staring, and Jen was sitting in her chair, and she just gets out a book, opens up a book. I'm just like, why do you read so much? I don't know, just like wanting to pick a fight. I'm just like, I just want to express anger.
The writing is so brave, it's dark, it's not condescending to its younger audience, it deals with important themes, and yet is so commercially viable that for a blockbuster, that is so few and far between. So I'm really proud it shows that you can handle serious subject matter when you've got someone like Frances at the helm, but it can still be commercially viable to such a huge extent, and that you can have a female protagonist at the front of that is also very important.
The production designer went on a worldwide search for the kind of architecture we needed, and we were looking at things with a brutalist or mixed with kind of a classical aesthetic. And we found amazing, immersive architectural environments in both Paris and Berlin. And so we focused our attention on those cities and moved here. And so we were able to use places like there's a place in Krampnitz that we used out here for some apartment blocks.